The morning sun painted the sky in golden hues as Aiden walked along the dirt path, the scent of damp earth filling the air. His village, nestled between rolling green hills, had always been home. Yet it felt more like a cage than a sanctuary. The same routine, the same struggles, the same feeling of being stuck in a life he never truly chose. He adjusted the worn-out satchel on his shoulder, filled with ledgers and notes from his job at the local grain merchant's shop. He had worked there for years, barely making enough to support his aging mother. The thought of breaking free, chasing something bigger, had crossed his mind 1,000 times, but he always found an excuse to stay. As he neared the old banyan tree at the village center, he spotted an older man sitting on a wooden bench, Master Ravi, the wisest man in the village. Ravi watched him with knowing eyes and gestured for him to sit. "You look troubled, Aiden." Aiden hesitated before sitting down. "Master Ravi, have you ever felt trapped in your own life?" The old man chuckled. "Oh, many times. But the difference between a caged bird and one that flies is a single decision." Those words lingered in Aiden's mind, echoing like an undeniable truth. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Aiden sat outside his small mud brick home, staring at the vast farmland stretching beyond the horizon. He had always dreamed of starting his own business, something that would free him from the cycle of endless labor. But in a village where tradition ruled, stepping away from the familiar was dangerous. His best friend Kiran joined him, carrying 2 cups of chai. "You're thinking too much again, aren't you?" he said with a smirk. Aiden sighed. "I feel like I'm wasting my life. But if I leave this job, what if I fail?" Kiran took a sip of his tea. "And if you stay, what if you never live?" The next morning, Aiden stood outside the merchant's shop, his resignation letter clutched tightly in his hand. His boss, a rotund man with a thick mustache, frowned. "Are you sure, boy? You have stability here. It may not be much, but at least it's certain." Aiden's heart pounded, his fingers trembling. He glanced back at the street where Master Ravi sat beneath the banyan tree watching. With a deep breath, he placed the letter on the wooden counter. "I have to try." As he walked away, a strange mix of fear and exhilaration filled his chest. For the first time in years, he wasn't just surviving, he was choosing to live. Starting his own small farming supply business wasn't as easy as he had imagined. He had invested all his savings into buying equipment, but few villagers trusted him over the established traders. Days turned into weeks, and customers remained scarce. One evening, Aiden sat on the riverbank, skipping stones across the water. "Maybe I was a fool to think I could change anything," he muttered. Master Ravi, who had been watching from a distance, approached. "Tell me, Aiden, how does a farmer grow the strongest tree?" Aiden sighed. "By planting the best seeds?" Ravi smiled. "By choosing the right soil, watering it daily, and being patient. Success is no different." Aiden took those words to heart. Instead of giving up, he adapted. He met with farmers, asked about their struggles, and adjusted his business to meet their needs. Slowly, trust grew. Then one day, an elderly farmer, Ramji, placed a large order for fertilizer. "I see the fire in your eyes, boy. Reminds me of myself when I was young." That first big sale was a turning point. More villagers followed, and soon Aiden's once empty shop became the busiest spot in the market. Just when things were looking up, disaster struck. A massive storm destroyed crops across the village, leaving farmers with nothing to trade. Aiden's business came to a halt. Sitting outside his shop, watching the rain pour down, he felt hopeless. "Maybe I was never meant for this," he told Kiran. Kiran shook his head. "If you stop now, you'll never know how far you could have gone." Instead of focusing on his losses, Aiden decided to help the farmers recover. He offered them supplies on credit, knowing they couldn't pay immediately, but trusting they would. At first, people were skeptical, but as the crops regrew and the village thrived again, Aiden's name became one of respect and admiration. Not everyone was happy about his success. The established trader Bhaskar, who had once dismissed Aiden as a foolish dreamer, now saw him as a threat. Bhaskar spread rumors that Aiden's products were inferior. Business slowed again, but Aiden didn't retaliate. He let his work speak for itself. Months later, Bhaskar's own shop struggled while Aiden's continued to grow. One day, a government official visited the village, impressed by Aiden's impact. He offered him a grant to expand his business beyond the village. Aiden was stunned. Just a year ago, he had been afraid to take a single step. Now, he was being asked to lead. Aiden rushed to tell Master Ravi the news, but when he reached the banyan tree, He found the old man sitting silently. "I knew you would come," Ravi said softly. "You see, Aiden, it was never about the business. It was about believing in yourself." Tears welled in Aiden's eyes. "You knew all along, didn't you?" Ravi chuckled. "I only showed you the door. You were the one who walked through it." Years later, Aiden stood where Ravi once did, watching a young man sit on the same bench, lost in thought. The boy sighed. "I feel like I'm stuck. What if I fail?" Aiden smiled, handing him a small, worn-out ledger, the same one where he had scribbled his early business plans. "Then you learn, and you try again. Because a single decision can change everything."